Dmitry Bivol is in there with Gilberto Ramirez. That's going to be an entertaining fight. I think Ramirez is a good fight. He's just been inactive, had contract disputes, but I'm curious to see that fight. Bivol coming off that huge win over Canelo. I think that Ramirez fight is going to be, that could be a very entertaining fight. I think Bivol gets it done, but I'm looking forward to it. I love the light heavies. There's some real talent in that division. What do you think on that one?
That's an interesting fight. Because Ramirez hasn't learned how to lose yet, and either has Bivol. Bivol, of course, has beaten, Canelo, and everybody suddenly thinks they discovered this fighter. He was always this fighter. He beats Canelo, and now all of a sudden, he's pretty good.
That's perfect description.
He's an experienced amateur guy that had all kinds of 200, 250 fights, whatever. And so he's got the pedigree, he's got the experience, he's got the style. He's a smart fighter, he controls range, he has decent athleticism, good athleticism. Like I say, he's got a good IQ. He can do a couple things. If he's got to fight you, he can fight you. He does have that capacity in his mentally in his makeup, but he likes to box. He likes to control the outside. But he's not a real busy guy. Ramirez is a real busy guy. Here's where and he's a guy who's not a natural light heavyweight, Ramirez, so he's moved up in weight. He started at 168, now he's a light heavyweight. So Bivol's the naturally bigger guy. But Ramirez is a southpaw, and Ramirez, for what that's worth, that can always be worth something, and he's a really busy, confident guy that throws a lot of punches. Bivol depends on rhythm. He does. He gets into a rhythm, and it's hard to get him out of that rhythm. Canelo couldn't get him out of that rhythm. Ramirez has the kind of style with the amount of punches he throws that if he can get around where he could get in gear, especially early, he could throw off the rhythm, the timing of Bivol. And if you throw off the timing and rhythm of Bivol, you know what? You're into something. You're possibly into something. Something that you have to be in to beat such a good fighter, to be quite frank. So I don't think it's such a slam dunk. A lot of people do think, especially after he beat Canelo. And he's a really good fighter, Bivol. But I don't know if it's that much of a slam dunk. Ramirez goes to the body well. I would go to the body if I was fighting Bivol because he uses his legs well. I would try to take air out of the radials. Slow him down a little bit. Don't chase his head. Go to the body, then get the head later. Again, Bivol, for all of the things that he's good, for all his accolades, and there's a lot of them, he does enough to win. He doesn't waste anything. That's an attribute, but it can also be a problem because there's a door that can open where you could get outworked, out-hustled. He does enough to win. He's pretty, kind of like a Haney's pretty. He's concise, Bivol. He's all of those things. He's good, but he doesn't waste anything. And he doesn't throw a lot. Ramirez throws a lot. And if Ramirez again can have a chance to get into sync, to get into the proper geography, because he's going to have to find a way to take that geography away from Bivol. Bivol's going to look to own the outside. He's going to look to own that. And then when you come in, he's going to look to catch you coming into his neighborhood. And then he's going to change to another neighborhood again. And when you come in that neighborhood, he's going to look to tattoo you again. And then if you get confused, he's going to get off first. He might even back you up a little bit. But so Ramirez is going to have his hands full negotiating that distance, getting into that proper neighborhood. But if he can get into that neighborhood and start getting into rhythm with the amount of punches that Ramirez throws, wow, it could be interesting. It could be interesting. Stay tuned.